Hi there. This is going to be weird. Trying to talk to the computer, which is actually on the other side of me mirror-wise because I'm not mirrored, and uh, try to communicate through the phone. But this is the easiest way for you to see my body. So tonight on Gridwork 101, I'm going to show you the love expansion movements. Then I'll break it down slowly. And then once I finish that part, then I'll explain um, what it all means and what the origin was. The reason I'm going in that order is because once I get to that point, I'm going to pause the recording, change my setup a little, and then go sit down so that there isn't a bunch of me all over the place being connected with you guys. So please hold. I'm starting the music uh, for the love expansion movements. This music was channeled to me from, I'm going to take these off just for these purposes, I think, uh, channeled to me from the Mintakans and the whales, um, and through some exposure to some chanting. And I actually had the music before I understood that I had made this music that went with all the physical motions. So here we go. I can let Chelsea in now that I did that because she's in there. Come in, my dear. Oh, you were there. Uh-oh. Okay. This happened once before with Chelsea, so I'll keep an eye on the computer. Hopefully she comes back. All right. This is so weird knowing that I am talking in there and looking in here, and then this is reversed. I should have mirrored myself, but whew, I am physically like still kind of tired. A lot of people have been depleted. It's been either emotional energy or physical energy, and then I had some triggers of adrenaline, and so then that makes me really tired once that wears off. But that feels great, and those physical movements feel great. It's just I'm like, I can't talk in the middle of doing them. So I'm going to slow it down. Part of the reason I have the camera in this weird spot, it's kind of hard to get a place in the room where you can see everything and it makes sense. I might be able to turn it a little once I just show you the basics. Okay, readjust lighting. Great. Nope, don't see. So, the first and most important thing to know is that I am just basically rocking back and forth on my feet. I'm trying to show you on the camera, so it's not as wide a stance as I actually have, and you can do it however you feel it's comfortable. Sometimes I'll feel more of this sort of emotion, and so I'm more swaying back and forth to the rhythm of the music. So if it were playing right now, it would be like Shanti Arofia. So just real gentle. And what I recently realized is that this dance is in 4/4 time, so it really doesn't matter what song you do it to. So, and if you're not sure what 4/4 time is, if you're not musical, don't worry about it. It's just a very common musical structure. There we go. I wonder what happened to my guest. Be my guest, get the Zoom on and be blessed. So then this movement, there we go. I'm taking my hands and I am sort of turning them like I'm giving myself the royal wave, the oh, only it's towards myself. And what I'm doing when I'm coming up from the bottom is I'm pulling up that Gaia energy, that source energy, focusing on unconditional love, building up that feeling, the breathing in the source energy, breathing out the love. So I'm just rocking with the music and I'm moving my hands. You'll see I'm kind of alternating them as I go up and turning towards myself. And then when we get to the top and it's Arofia, and then back down again, Shanti Arofia. And this is about opening up that energy channel and opening up your heart space, and it just feels good, to be honest. So once we've got that part going, I hope Chelsea didn't give up. So then when it starts to go into the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, which is sometimes sung Vasudevaya. These chants, even though some of them are Hindu, some of these words are also light language and galactic codes, so they sound very similar and aren't meant to be representing that specifically. So we are taking our arms, and let's see if I can get, nope, not that way, this way, which makes me a little too close to the cabinet. Here, I'm going to try this. Let's see. Look at the collection of shoes I never wear. All right. No, Chelsea. I remember. Maybe she had to reboot. Okay, there we go. Uh, so we're, still moving with the music, and I am going to put on some different music besides this later to do it again, just so we can see how to do it to, like, I don't know, some EDM or something. So we're getting to Om. So we're going to breathe in as we raise up our arms. So, and then when you bring them down, and as you're breathing out, this is you extending out your unconditional love sphere. You're extending out your unconditional love sphere. You're breathing in that source energy in, expanding out that sphere to transmute any density and get it out of you as well. So that gives us Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So once we've done this, and then we've blown out the air, we lengthen our arms out on either side, and then we make a quarter turn to the center. I feel like I should, and snap. All right, so, and then you just repeat that. So for each run through of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, you do that entire series, and then turn and do it one more time, and then turn, so that by the time you get back around, you've done 4 of them, and you're back where you started. And then it just goes back to the bringing up the energy from Gaia. And I like to see my sphere getting bigger this way as well. The combination of that earth energy of the mother and the father sky. When I have time in between rotations, there's a little bit of a pause after the Shanti Anofia before we go into the Om. So what I will do is just imagine that I am painting with light, painting that sphere around me with light, playing with my energy torus. And so then we start that over again. And you do that a total of 3 times. So you're doing 3 rotations of 4. And then, interestingly enough, the Shanti Anovia part is 4 rotations of 3. And both equal 12. I see the muses around me stationed like a clock, or others when I'm working with them, all doing these movements in unison. The purpose of this is to bring in that source energy and connect you with the rhythm of the earth. And so you can do this to any music you choose, really. I think metal might be challenging, but who knows? Maybe, that's like what works for you. And it's more the rhythm that I'm thinking of, because I'm not sure how you would find that, but maybe you would. That works on the energetic and physical machinery of your body and getting things working together and helping you be embodied. It helps disperse any dense energy or negative energy around you. It is a passive, loving force. You're not exerting your will on others. It's always of the highest good. And it can quiet down your neighbor's barking dogs pretty effectively. So when I get back into position, I will go ahead and pause this so that I can get out of this standing position. But I just thought it would be fun. Let me find some kind of other music briefly that will be entertaining. I should have had this queued up, but it was kind of impossible. Let's see. Okay. Well, that's really funny. Okay. No, not that one. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Maybe. Oh, I think it's only letting me listen to it because it's a podcast. Okay. I'm gonna pause for just a second so I'm not. All right, it didn't ask me to reauthorize. All right, you guys. I haven't tested this out. No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside and I can't break through. There's no talking to you. So sad that you're leaving. Takes time to believe it. But after all is said and done, you're gonna be the only one. Oh, do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough, no. Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough, cause what am I supposed to do? Sit around and wait for you? Well, I can't do that. There's no turning back. I need time to move on. I need love to feel strong. Cause I've had time to think it through. And maybe I'm too good for you. Oh, do you believe? That's enough of that chicanery. Let's see here. Whew. So you can really put it to anything. You could do it to music that's a little faster, music that's slower, just whatever generates that feeling of joy and bliss and energy and maybe passion welling up inside you. That is the energy that we use to create this sphere of love. And so when I am doing grid work, whether I'm physically up and doing it, which I really love to do it outside any time of day or night. My neighbors got tired of me doing it naked, but then you can also do it to slow music, and you can be doing it laying down in bed because you can be doing it in your mind. Like if I'm not feeling well enough to physically be doing all of this, I will do it in my mind and use my imagination the way a dancer or an athlete goes through their routine in their head. And it has the same physical effects on the body. Tim? Oh, well, that was an adventure. That's one of those videos I'll be like, don't watch it back, don't watch it back. But that's just because I'm not comfortable moving my body in front of the world just yet. Um, you know how it is. Uh, so these physical movements, let's talk about where they came from. 625, okay. I feel really bad that I hope Chelsea wasn't waiting too long. Anyway, stop obsessing. Um, so a lot of these physical movements I would do as a child, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that when I did them, in a room full of drunken, screaming adults, even if they might even be yelling at me for doing this thing because it was somehow annoying or bothering their drunken, screaming conversation, uh, it would calm the room. It would be like as if there was a bar fight and then someone pumped sleepy time gas in there and they all just sat down and started giggling. Um, so, but I wasn't aware of where it came from or why I knew. I just knew that it felt good. And so over the years, different parts of it would come into being, and I didn't really have the full understanding of it being light codes and light language and light activation and crystalline activation. I did not have the language around all that. I didn't understand fully energetically what I was doing. But by the time I was 30, I had the portion that's the Om, these movements. I had those, and I would breathe in. Um, for me, it was like breathe in the good air, breathe out the bad. When I was breathing out, I was imagining that I was just breathing in energy and breathing out energy, clearing energy, clearing the room, so to speak, clearing the land, clearing the area I was in. And it would always make me feel better. Um, and I would notice that people around me would be a little calmer. Where the Shantianovia uh, came in was summer 2020, as all good things evolved. I had some Reiki from Magpie Song Healing. And while I was having this distance Reiki, which I hadn't really had before, my hands just started moving like this. And I was laying down while she was working, and I was saying, Shanti Anofia, Shanti Anofia, Shanti Anofia, Shanti Anofia. And I just felt like really blissful, almost kind of high, right? And afterwards, I was like, wow, what was that? And then in the meantime, I had a very specific question in my mind for guide source team, asking if, because I felt like I had an experience that prepared me to be multidimensionally expanded so that I was able to perceive much greater perspective, be able to visit, feel, channel all the dimensions, basically be free to travel, like a golden Delta Pass or something. So, and in my mind, I was thinking of 12 dimensions. So we do this Reiki. I'm having this resurgence of light code, activation movements, crystalline activation movements, to move energy, and you may even start to see it like a swirl in front of you. You may start to see your own energy. Sometimes I put a mask on just so I know it's not just the light and my hands moving in the light that's doing it, because I'm skeptical that way. So I have this Reiki, and Jessie, we come out of it, and she says, and she hadn't been practicing, I don't think, for very long, like with the public. So, like most of us, she was unsure of herself. And uh, she said, this may sound really weird, but it's what I saw. So I feel like I should tell you. And so she tells me about this song and video cartoon from Sesame Street with the Pointer Sisters from, I think it was from the late 70s, maybe. And if you watch this cartoon, I'll put the link in the upload of this video, because not on YouTube, but in Patreon, because this video is so full of like awakening, ascension imagery. It's really wild and very cool. But the song is to count to 12. And so it just goes, they sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so she told me this, and then I went and I watched the video, and I just started crying. I just started crying because I was like, okay, if you say so, I'll, try to work to do whatever it is you want me to do. So that was the first part. And I hadn't put it together somehow with all of this, and I was still doing this the same way I had been forever. I was using that, though, to expand out my sphere to try to move smoke out of the valley during the fires and that sort of thing. So, but I hadn't connected them together. And then started channeling Mintaka. Part of what brought in that particular octonal healing song was that I was listening to just the chanting part in the bathtub quite often, and I started hearing more voices, and I would hear sometime, it would feel like someone walked up and spoke to me, and only their voice had multiple, as if you could sing or speak more than one tone simultaneously, kind of like some monks can chant the throat singing. There have been some singers who can do that. So that song, that's what I was told to do. So once I did the song, I was just doing the thing one day, and all of a sudden I went, oh my gosh, all of this fits with the music, and there's a purpose for it. And that is why I have been doing this and getting these little nuggets and pieces all my life. And now here we are with those simple physical movements, which you can do to any tempo of music or without music. I like to just go outside and breathe in the fresh air, maybe look at the stars or the clouds or whatever is going on outside at the moment and connect. It's wonderful to be able to do it with your feet on the ground. It's a little chilly where I am to be barefoot on a patch of anything, but I sure do enjoy that, and it's nice to be outside. So this is how you can practice and work with that unconditional love energy, and working on amplifying and increasing the size of your love sphere. And it also helps conduct a lot of healing through you and for you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about that I have to say that's important for me to tell you. And I don't think so. And I'm double checking. Phew, thank goodness I'm recording. That would have sucked if I had to try to recreate everything I just said. Huh. But the thing I like about this is that even if I'm feeling really awful, I can usually at least go through that, movements in a circle one time. I may not feel like doing it 3 times, but even just doing it one time helps change my energy flow and shift my energy, and then I can get better rest if I'm in some sort of recuperation at the moment. And it just feels good. It feels good to do. So I hope you guys enjoy that. If you have any questions, let me know. You won't know until I get this uploaded that I've gotten everything uploaded. So maybe I'll post in Patreon. But at any rate, I love you all. And this Saturday at 10 is the Pleasure and Sensuality workshop. I I thought I had a focus in mind this month, and then I can't remember uh, what it was. But at any rate, when I put up the post with the Zoom, I'll let you know if I want you to bring anything in particular with you. Nighty night, sleep tight.